And welcome back. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. When football season gets here, don't spend it complaining about your favorite chair being uncomfortable. It's time to throw that thing out, get a new one. Home theater seating, the place to go, Games and Things. They have a tremendous selection. Whether you want, basically if you want something that's like a living, breathing organism that can, hey, I need the channel changed, and the chair does it for you, they got that kind of stuff. If you just need a chair, I'm more of the basic chair guy. And I got my last 2 home theater seats there at Games and Things. Love them. Absolutely love them. Perfectly comfortable. So for football season, get to the corner of Kingston Pike and Lovell Road. Go out and see the incredible showroom at Games and Things and check out their home theater seats before football season starts. You'll thank me. Trust me. Okay. Walter Nolan, he's not the number 1 player according to 247sports.com.
Number 2.
Number 2. So don't hit me. But what? ESPN has him number 1. You guys would have had him number 1 if he wasn't, a Tennessee target. But he's moved from Cordova to Powell, my neck of the woods. Mm-hmm. Can't blame him. I moved to Powell. I love Powell. But he's moved to Powell. He's not only gotten closer to Neyland Stadium, literally. Figuratively, he's getting closer to Neyland Stadium. This is a guy who, in the spring, he put out his top 8. Tennessee wasn't on the list. In July, Tennessee made the top 5. And I said, well, look, this is a positive. Heupel's showing that he doesn't have much to sell, but he's getting in there. He just came out with his top 3, and now it's Texas A&M, Florida, and Tennessee for the number 1 player in the country. How are things going with Walter Nolan and the Volunteers, Ryan?
Well, Tennessee's stock clearly has gone up with them recently. There's no doubt about that. They got him on.
I hear cold water coming.
Well, no, they got him on campus. It's not so much cold water. Just this is going to be a long, twisty recruitment is the message here, because Tennessee was, as you said, out of it in the spring. Now they're back in it. They got him on campus twice in June. Now he's in Tennessee's backyard. He admitted that helps Tennessee. He's probably going to be over there more. It's easier for him to pop over there for a midweek practice or anything now that he's in Knoxville. So this is a big deal to have him in your backyard if you're Tennessee. The downside, as you mentioned, Texas A&M, and this isn't an official top 3. It's just kind of these are the 3 standing out to me right now, kind of thing. He didn't put out he didn't make it an official top 3. He just was talking to me about it. But Texas A&M, he just went there last weekend for the first time. Now they're in his top 3. That tells you what this recruitment is going to be. Each visit could change things. So get ready, buckle up. It's going to be a long ride. He's not just the best defensive tackle in this class. I think he's maybe the best one in the last 2 or 3 classes. So it's going to be a hard fight all the way to the end, probably to December before it's over.
Is there a little bit of a danger in him being so close? And here's what I mean. If you're in Cordova and you're looking at all these programs and Tennessee's just one of them, and Tennessee loses, but you're not there and you just see the score and you talk to the coach, that's that. If you're in town and you're watching shows like ours and you're listening to radio shows like Jimmy and the people are calling in, and you go to school and you hear what people are saying, and you're right here so you can see that 55,000 season tickets, okay. I see the positive. Woo, we got him close. You're also going to be closer to any negative that comes out in terms of fan reaction, media coverage, etc. I think that could possibly be a negative. Am I being too dark in my projections there?
Well, I think fans generally make the mistake of assuming players watch everything.
Right.
They don't. They don't follow all that much. They don't even watch most games. So I think that's the thing you have to realize about players. It's a very highlight-driven generation. That definitely applies to recruits too in a lot of cases. So I don't think he's going to hear all of that stuff necessarily, but he is going to hear a lot from fans at his school, around him in the community, all the stuff he hears from them. And sometimes there's backlash to that. Sometimes you want to get away from that because it's too much pressure. So there are multiple factors in that. Another positive, though, he knows some players on Tennessee's roster. He knows Bryson Eason, Omari Thomas, guys that he knows from the Memphis area. Now he gets to hang out with them if he wants to on these visits. So all that's a positive for Tennessee. It doesn't guarantee anything. They're very much in the mix, though. Florida's the kind of constant. If you're a Tennessee fan wondering what are our chances, Florida's the team that hasn't gone away since early June. He really liked his official visit there. I think they'll probably be in it till the end.
Okay. Let me give you a quick question here. Let's take a look at 24/7 Sports rankings. Tennessee has climbed about 10 spots in the last month. They were 37. Now in the class of 22, they're all the way up to number 27 with 14 commits. You see they're a little bit behind Mississippi State. That's not great. They're ahead of Florida, right there, tied with Florida basically, but they're not that far ahead of Vanderbilt. It's better than 37. We know everything, and we've said this before. We know what Heupel inherited in terms of record It's a team that's lost 7 or more games in 3 of the last 4 years. We know what he inherited in terms of stability. He's the 18th coach in 19 years or some insanity. He's got the NCAA stuff hanging over him. We know all that, so take that into consideration. You look where things stand right now. If I had to have you give a grade to Heupel on the job that he and his staff have done recruiting to this point, what's the grade you give him?
I'll go with the B-. I think they've done a good job of evaluating, getting some good players in this class under the circumstances. They've obviously done a good job of winning some big-time battles like Taven Jackson, like this past week, Addison Nichols, a near top 100 prospect nationally, an offensive lineman with ties to Knoxville and Tennessee, but still a guy that Tennessee's missed on those players in the past. Tate Ratledge going to Georgia, Trevor Lawrence obviously going to Clemson. So to get a guy like that was a big deal. So they've shown they can win big-time battles, but still just not enough of those players. And the big thing to me is several in-state misses in this class that are, assuming nothing changes, it's gonna hurt Tennessee fans to look back at this in-state class and how deep and good it is, and to not get more players out of this state. So that's where I would dock them just a little bit. But overall, they've done a solid job considering the dead period.
No curve from Mr. Callahan. He's not grading on the curve.
That's still above average.
There, I'm sticking it next to me, next to him. All right. It's above average. But, see, I would give him a little bit of a break. Yes, it's a great year in state. It's not his fault. He came in this year and had no roots down to it. I mean, that's rough.
And no dead period where he could meet anybody in person. I mean, there are multiple legitimate reasons for it.
But you don't care. You still grade him down.
I think they had opportunities to get a couple or 3 more that could end up making a big difference.
You hate the guy.
He didn't have McDonald's bags either.
That's right.
True.
He's not recruiting with McDonald's bags. All right. When we come back, let me ask Ryan about best case scenario for Tennessee. We'll talk a little bit more recruiting with the recruiting guru from GoVols247.com when we come back. Come on back.